Have you ever wondered why? No matter how hard you work, your life feels stuck, your goals seem just out of reach, or opportunities slip through your hands. The truth is, it may not be what you're doing during the day, but how you start your mornings. The first few hours after waking set the tone for everything that follows. Every thought, every action, and every decision you make early in the day can either propel you forward or quietly hold you back. Many people unknowingly adopt habits that drain their energy, scatter their focus, and prevent them from achieving their full potential. And the worst part is, they don't even realize it. Your morning is a powerful launch pad. It determines your energy, mindset, and productivity for the rest of the day. The way you wake, the choices you make, and the habits you follow create a ripple effect that influences your career, relationships, and overall life. Even small, seemingly harmless actions like checking your phone first, rushing through routines, or ignoring your priorities can accumulate and silently limit your growth. But the good news is, the solution is simple: awareness and deliberate action. By identifying these subtle habits and replacing them with intentional practices, you can transform your mornings into a time of clarity, focus, and unstoppable momentum. In this video, we're going to reveal 8 morning habits that may be holding you back from God's blessings, opportunities, and success. We'll break down each habit in detail, explain why it subtly affects your day, and show practical ways to start every morning with energy, focus, and purpose. Whether you want more productivity, more calm, or more direction in life, understanding these habits is the first step to reclaiming your mornings and setting yourself up for daily success. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to reset your mornings, build habits that strengthen your mind, body, and focus, and unlock the potential that has been quietly waiting for you. If you're ready to stop letting your mornings control you and start controlling your mornings instead, keep watching, because what you learn today could completely transform the way you approach every single day of your life. Many people wake up each morning already feeling rushed. The alarm goes off and the mind jumps straight into stress. Thoughts about work, money, and problems arrive instantly. This habit may seem normal, but it sets the tone for the entire day. When the day begins with pressure, peace has no room to enter. Starting the morning in a rush often creates a closed mindset. There is no space for clarity or calm thinking. Decisions are made quickly and emotionally. This can lead to repeated mistakes. Over time, this pattern quietly blocks progress and growth. A calm beginning allows the mind to reset. When the first moments are slow and intentional, focus improves. Gratitude becomes easier. Awareness increases. This shift may feel small, but it changes how the rest of the day unfolds. Many people wonder why results never change. They pray, hope, and wait, but they begin each morning in chaos. Order matters. What starts broken often stays broken. A peaceful start invites better outcomes throughout the day. Another habit that holds people back is waking up with negative self-talk. The first words spoken internally shape belief. When someone starts the day by doubting themselves, confidence weakens. This habit silently trains the mind to expect less. Negative thoughts early in the morning grow stronger as the day continues. One small doubt turns into hesitation. Hesitation turns into missed opportunities. Over time, this creates a cycle of limitation and frustration. Many people do not realize how powerful morning thoughts are. The brain is most open at this time. What enters first often stays longest. Feeding the mind discouraging ideas sets a low standard for the entire day. Replacing negative self-talk with steady truth changes direction. Calm, honest thoughts build strength. Confidence grows slowly but surely. This mental shift opens doors that fear once kept closed. Reaching for the phone immediately after waking is another hidden block. Notifications flood the mind before it fully wakes. News, messages, and social media begin to control attention. The day starts in reaction mode instead of purpose. This habit trains the brain to respond instead of lead. Other people's opinions, problems, and achievements take center stage. Personal goals are pushed aside. Focus becomes scattered before the day even begins. Over time, this weakens discipline and clarity. The mind feels busy but unproductive. Energy drops quickly. Many people feel tired without understanding why. The morning has already drained them. Creating space before screen time restores balance. A few quiet minutes bring awareness back. Thought becomes clearer. Direction returns. This simple change strengthens control over the day instead of surrendering it. Skipping moments of reflection in the morning is another common habit. Many people move straight into tasks without pausing. There is no review of purpose or direction. The day becomes automatic instead of meaningful. Without reflection, actions lose depth. People stay busy but feel empty. They work hard, yet feel disconnected. This leads to burnout and confusion over time. A short pause in the morning creates alignment. It helps the mind understand why the day matters. Direction becomes clearer. Effort feels lighter and more intentional. Those who reflect early often notice better decision-making. They respond with patience instead of impulse. This habit slowly brings stability, growth, and consistent progress. Another overlooked habit is neglecting gratitude in the morning. Many people focus only on what is missing. Complaints form before appreciation ever appears. This mindset quietly limits joy and expectation. When gratitude is absent, the mind stays focused on lack. Problems appear bigger than they are. Hope feels distant. This emotional state affects choices throughout the day. Gratitude shifts attention toward what is already working. It builds contentment and strength. Even small moments begin to feel meaningful. This creates emotional balance and inner calm. A thankful mindset invites positive outcomes. It increases patience and trust. Over time, gratitude changes how challenges are handled and how success is received. Starting the day without any structure can also delay progress. Many people wake up with no clear plan. They move from task to task without direction. This creates confusion and wasted energy. Lack of structure leads to procrastination. Important tasks are delayed. Small distractions take over. By the end of the day, little feels accomplished. A simple morning plan improves focus. Knowing what matters first creates momentum. Time feels more controlled. Stress reduces naturally. Structure does not remove freedom. It creates it. When priorities are clear, energy flows toward what truly matters. Ignoring physical care in the morning is another limiting habit. Poor hydration, lack of movement, or shallow breathing affect the mind. The body and mind are deeply connected. When the body feels weak, focus suffers. Motivation drops. Irritation rises easily. Many people blame circumstances without noticing physical neglect. Small actions like stretching or deep breathing increase energy. They improve clarity and patience. The mind becomes more alert and balanced. Caring for the body supports better thinking. It strengthens discipline. Over time, physical awareness improves emotional control and daily performance. Beginning the day with comparison is extremely damaging. Many people measure themselves against others before breakfast. This creates pressure and discouragement instantly. Comparison steals confidence. It creates unrealistic expectations. People forget their own path and pace. Joy fades quickly. Everyone grows differently. Progress is personal. Comparing journeys only creates distraction and self-doubt. Focusing inward builds strength. When attention stays on personal growth, confidence increases naturally. This habit protects peace and long-term consistency. Waking up without any sense of responsibility can quietly slow progress. Some people start the morning with avoidance. They delay getting out of bed. They ignore duties waiting ahead. This creates a habit of escape. Avoidance feels comfortable at first, but it builds pressure underneath. Tasks pile up. Guilt grows silently. This emotional weight follows the person all day. Facing responsibility early creates strength. Even small actions build confidence. Momentum forms quickly. The mind feels lighter and more in control. When responsibility is met early, the day becomes smoother. Stress reduces. Focus improves. Progress becomes steady instead of forced. Another habit is starting the day without emotional control. Some people wake up irritated or impatient. They react to small things strongly. This emotional tone spreads into every interaction. Uncontrolled emotions weaken judgment. Words are spoken too quickly. Regret follows later. Relationships suffer slowly because mornings begin poorly. Learning to pause emotionally changes outcomes. Calm responses create better conversations. Respect increases naturally. Trust grows over time. Emotional awareness in the morning sets a stable foundation. It protects peace. It improves communication. It leads to healthier daily results. Rushing into noise is another hidden issue. Loud music, constant talking, or non-stop input overwhelms the mind early. The brain needs space before stimulation. Too much noise blocks clear thinking. Decisions feel harder. Stress rises without reason. Energy drains faster than expected. Quiet moments help the mind organize thoughts. Silence sharpens awareness. It allows direction to form naturally. Starting the day with calm sound or silence builds mental strength. Focus improves. Patience increases. The day feels more balanced. Skipping personal values in the morning weakens direction. Many people forget what matters to them. They move through the day reacting instead of choosing. When values are ignored, actions feel empty. Effort lacks meaning. Motivation fades quickly. Confusion replaces purpose. Remembering personal values creates alignment. Choices become easier. Time feels more valuable. Effort feels worthwhile. Values guide behavior quietly. Starting the day aware of them strengthens consistency and inner confidence. Another habit is beginning the day without honesty toward oneself. Many people avoid self-reflection. They hide from weaknesses or mistakes. Avoiding truth delays growth. Patterns repeat. Problems remain unresolved. Frustration builds slowly. Honest reflection creates awareness. Awareness leads to correction. Small changes become possible. Facing reality early builds maturity. It creates progress without pressure. Growth becomes natural and steady. Overloading the morning with goals can also block progress. Some people demand too much from themselves too early. This creates stress instead of motivation. Unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment. Energy drops quickly. Confidence weakens before the day truly begins. Setting realistic goals builds momentum. Small wins increase belief. Motivation grows naturally. Balanced expectations protect consistency. Progress becomes sustainable. Effort feels rewarding instead of exhausting. Ignoring patience in the morning shapes poor reactions. Many people want instant results. They expect quick answers and fast changes. Impatience creates frustration. Small delays feel unbearable. This mindset affects decision-making negatively. Patience allows process to unfold. It reduces emotional pressure. Thinking becomes clearer. Starting the day with patience builds resilience. It strengthens discipline. Long-term success becomes more likely. Starting the day without personal boundaries weakens focus. Some people allow interruptions immediately. Messages, calls, and demands take control. Without boundaries, priorities disappear. Time is lost quickly. Energy drains early. Clear boundaries protect attention. They create space for meaningful work. Control returns. Morning boundaries shape the entire day. They improve productivity. They strengthen self-respect. Beginning the day without direction often leads to wasted effort. Many people wake up and move aimlessly. They let the day decide for them. This creates confusion and loss of focus. When direction is missing, time slips away easily. Important tasks are delayed. Energy is spent on low-value actions. Setting intention early brings clarity. It helps the mind understand what truly matters. Focus becomes stronger. A clear direction in the morning improves efficiency. It reduces stress. Progress feels purposeful and controlled. Another habit is waking up with unresolved anger. Some people carry emotions from the past day into the new one. This affects mood and thinking immediately. Anger clouds judgment. It creates tension in simple moments. Communication becomes sharp and unproductive. Releasing emotional weight in the morning restores balance. Calm thinking replaces frustration. Peace becomes possible. Emotional reset improves daily interactions. It protects mental clarity. It leads to better outcomes. Ignoring learning in the morning can slow growth. Some people avoid new ideas early. They repeat the same patterns daily. Without learning, progress stalls. Creativity fades. Curiosity weakens. Even small learning moments spark awareness. Reading or reflecting builds mental strength. Insight grows. A learning mindset opens opportunities. It sharpens thinking. Growth becomes consistent. Starting the day without humility creates resistance. Some people begin with pride. They believe they already know enough. Pride blocks correction. Feedback is ignored. Mistakes repeat. Humility allows improvement. It keeps the mind open. Growth becomes possible. A humble start strengthens wisdom. It improves relationships. Progress becomes steady. Another habit is ignoring time awareness. Many people lose track of time in the morning. They underestimate its value. Poor time awareness causes delay. Stress builds quickly. Control disappears. Respecting time increases discipline. It sharpens focus. Efficiency improves. Morning time awareness shapes success. It strengthens responsibility. It protects productivity. Beginning the day without rest can drain energy. Some people wake up exhausted mentally. They never truly reset. Mental fatigue weakens focus. Motivation drops. Errors increase. Allowing mental rest improves clarity. Calm thinking returns. Energy stabilizes. Rested minds make better decisions. They respond instead of react. Progress improves. Skipping personal growth habits in the morning limits development. Many people postpone improvement. They wait for later. Delaying growth keeps habits stagnant. Change feels harder over time. Morning growth habits build momentum. Confidence rises. Effort compounds. Consistency strengthens identity. Improvement becomes natural. Results follow. Waking up without appreciation for time limits motivation. Many people assume tomorrow is guaranteed. This weakens urgency. Lack of urgency causes procrastination. Opportunities are missed. Regret builds later. Valuing time increases intention. Focus sharpens. Action improves. Morning awareness of time strengthens commitment. It improves discipline. Life feels purposeful. Many people begin the morning without awareness of their influence on others. Words spoken early often carry extra weight. A careless tone or sharp response can affect family members or co-workers for the rest of the day. This habit quietly damages trust and connection. When awareness is missing, people excuse poor behavior as stress or tiredness. Over time, this creates distance in relationships. Small emotional gaps grow wider without being noticed. Starting the day with awareness improves communication. Thoughtful words create stability. Respect grows naturally when reactions are measured and calm. Daily awareness strengthens relationships long term. It reduces regret. It builds a reputation of consistency and reliability. Another habit is waking up without discipline. Some people allow comfort to control the morning. They stay in bed longer than needed. They delay basic tasks. This trains the mind to avoid effort. Comfort feels harmless, but it weakens resolve. Small delays turn into daily patterns. Discipline slowly erodes without warning. Choosing effort early builds inner strength. Simple actions restore control. Momentum forms quickly when comfort is challenged. Discipline in the morning shapes character. It increases confidence. It supports long-term stability and growth. Starting the day without responsibility for choices can block progress. Some people blame circumstances immediately. They assume problems come from outside sources only. Blame removes power. It creates helplessness. Growth stops when responsibility is avoided. Accepting responsibility restores control. It encourages problem solving. Confidence rises naturally. Morning responsibility improves resilience. It creates adaptability. Progress becomes consistent even during difficulty. Another limiting habit is beginning the day without clarity of priorities. Many people treat all tasks as equal. This creates overwhelm and poor focus. When everything feels urgent, nothing is done well. Energy is divided. Progress slows. Clear priorities simplify decisions. Attention sharpens. Effort becomes efficient. Morning clarity reduces stress. It improves productivity. Results improve steadily. Ignoring emotional balance in the morning weakens stability. Some people suppress feelings instead of understanding them. This causes tension beneath the surface. Unprocessed emotions appear later as frustration or fatigue. Small triggers create strong reactions. Control feels lost. Acknowledging emotions restores balance. Understanding replaces resistance. Calm returns. Emotional balance supports wise decisions. It protects relationships. It improves daily performance. Beginning the day without self-respect limits growth. Some people treat themselves harshly. They start with criticism instead of care. Self-disrespect weakens confidence. Motivation drops quickly. Effort feels heavy. Self-respect creates strength. It encourages improvement without pressure. Confidence stabilizes. Morning self-respect builds consistency. It supports discipline. Growth feels achievable. Another habit is waking up without purpose awareness. Many people forget why their work matters. Tasks feel meaningless. Without purpose, motivation fades. Effort feels empty. Burnout grows slowly. Purpose restores energy. It connects effort to meaning. Direction becomes clear. Morning purpose awareness strengthens endurance. It keeps effort focused. Progress feels rewarding. Starting the day without adaptability causes frustration. Some people expect everything to go as planned. Any change feels like failure. Rigid thinking creates stress. Minor disruptions feel overwhelming. Emotional control weakens. Flexibility improves response. Solutions appear faster. Calm replaces resistance. Adaptability builds resilience. It improves problem solving. Days become smoother. Another habit is ignoring long-term thinking in the morning. Some people focus only on immediate comfort. Future impact is forgotten. Short-term thinking limits growth. Poor choices repeat. Regret forms later. Long-term awareness improves decisions. Patience increases. Discipline strengthens. Morning future awareness builds wisdom. It supports steady success. Progress becomes intentional. Waking up without appreciation for effort can reduce motivation. Many people overlook how far they've come. They focus only on what remains. This mindset creates exhaustion. Progress feels invisible. Confidence weakens. Recognizing effort restores motivation. Small wins matter. Energy returns. Morning appreciation builds persistence. It supports consistency. Growth continues naturally. Many people start the morning without emotional patience. They expect everything to move quickly. When delays appear, frustration rises instantly. This habit creates tension before the day fully begins. Impatience early in the day affects judgment. Small obstacles feel larger than they are. Reactions become sharp instead of thoughtful. Practicing patience in the morning changes emotional rhythm. It allows space between events and responses. Calm becomes easier to maintain. Morning patience strengthens emotional control. It reduces stress. It improves the quality of decisions throughout the day. Another habit is beginning the day without personal accountability. Some people excuse missed goals as bad luck. They avoid reviewing their own actions. Without accountability, improvement slows. Patterns repeat. Responsibility feels heavy instead of empowering. Owning actions creates clarity. It reveals areas for growth. Control returns to the individual. Morning accountability builds maturity. It strengthens discipline. Progress becomes measurable and steady. Starting the morning without mental focus scatters energy. Many people multitask immediately. Attention jumps between tasks without depth. Scattered focus reduces quality. Tasks take longer. Fatigue appears early. Single task focus improves performance. Thought becomes sharper. Effort feels lighter. Morning focus increases efficiency. It protects energy. Results improve consistently. Another limiting habit is waking up without self-awareness. Some people act on autopilot. They do not observe their thoughts or reactions. Lack of awareness leads to repeated mistakes. Emotions control behavior. Growth becomes difficult. Self-awareness brings understanding. It allows correction. Choices improve. Morning awareness strengthens emotional intelligence. It improves relationships. Stability increases. Ignoring consistency in the morning weakens habits. Some people are disciplined only when motivated. This creates imbalance. Inconsistent effort produces uneven results. Confidence fluctuates. Progress slows. Consistency builds reliability. Small daily actions compound over time. Discipline strengthens. Morning consistency shapes long-term success. It creates trust in oneself. Growth becomes dependable. Beginning the day without inner calm affects communication. Stress leaks into conversations. Tone becomes tense. Tension creates misunderstandings. Small issues grow quickly. Connection weakens. Calm communication builds trust. Words carry clarity. Respect increases. Morning calm improves social interactions. It strengthens cooperation. Relationships benefit. Another habit is ignoring reflection on past mistakes. Some people rush forward without learning. Errors repeat silently. Avoiding reflection delays improvement. Growth feels stuck. Frustration builds. Reflecting briefly brings insight. Lessons become clear. Adjustment becomes possible. Morning reflection supports wisdom. It prevents repeated setbacks. Progress improves. Starting the day without gratitude for opportunity limits motivation. Many people overlook chances in front of them. Ignoring opportunity creates stagnation. Potential remains unused. Regret grows later. Recognizing opportunity restores drive. Energy increases. Purpose sharpens. Morning opportunity awareness encourages action. It strengthens ambition. Growth accelerates. Another habit is waking up without emotional boundaries. Some people absorb others' stress immediately. This drains energy. Emotional overload weakens focus. Fatigue increases quickly. Motivation drops. Protecting emotional space restores balance. Energy stabilizes. Control returns. Morning emotional boundaries improve resilience. They protect clarity. Performance improves. Beginning the day without appreciation for discipline reduces commitment. Some people see discipline as punishment. This mindset creates resistance. Effort feels forced. Progress slows. Viewing discipline as support changes behavior. Effort feels purposeful. Confidence grows. Morning respect for discipline strengthens resolve. It supports consistency. Success becomes achievable. Another limiting habit is starting the day without clarity in communication goals. People speak without intention. Unclear communication causes confusion. Messages are misunderstood. Conflict grows. Clear intention improves expression. Words align with purpose. Understanding increases. Morning communication clarity improves cooperation. It builds trust. Results improve. Waking up without control over thoughts creates distraction. Many people let random worries dominate early thinking. Uncontrolled thoughts create anxiety. Focus disappears. Energy drains. Guiding thoughts restores calm. Attention sharpens. Confidence returns. Morning thought control improves mental strength. It supports productivity. Balance increases. Another habit is ignoring the power of silence. Some people fear quiet moments. They fill every second with noise. Noise blocks reflection. Creativity weakens. Stress builds unnoticed. Silence creates clarity. Insight appears. Calm strengthens. Morning silence supports mental health. It improves focus. Direction becomes clearer. Starting the day without respect for routine weakens structure. Some people abandon routines easily. Without routine, discipline fades. Progress becomes unpredictable. Motivation fluctuates. Routine builds stability. Habits strengthen naturally. Control increases. Morning routine supports success. It creates rhythm. Growth becomes steady. Another habit is waking up without acknowledging personal limits. Some people expect too much daily. Ignoring limits leads to burnout. Fatigue accumulates. Performance declines. Recognizing limits improves balance. Energy is managed wisely. Effort feels sustainable. Morning limit awareness supports longevity. It protects health. Progress lasts longer. Beginning the day without hope weakens resilience. Some people expect disappointment before trying. Low expectation reduces effort. Confidence drops. Opportunities are missed. Hope restores motivation. Belief strengthens. Action becomes easier. Morning hope builds endurance. It improves attitude. Success becomes more attainable. Many people begin the morning without controlling their reactions. They respond instantly to events instead of thinking first. This habit shapes the entire emotional flow of the day. Quick reactions often lead to regret. Words are spoken too fast. Decisions feel rushed and unclear. Learning to slow reactions builds strength. It creates space for better choices. Calm replaces impulse. Morning reaction control improves maturity. It protects relationships. It leads to wiser outcomes. Another habit is waking up without respect for preparation. Some people assume things will work out without effort. This creates unnecessary problems later. Lack of preparation causes stress. Mistakes become frequent. Confidence weakens. Preparing early reduces pressure. It increases readiness. Control improves naturally. Morning preparation supports success. It builds confidence. Progress becomes smoother. Starting the day without awareness of influence limits leadership. Some people forget their actions affect others. This reduces responsibility. Ignoring influence creates careless behavior. Trust erodes slowly. Respect fades. Awareness strengthens leadership. Actions become thoughtful. Integrity grows. Morning influence awareness improves character. It builds trust. Progress extends beyond self. Another habit is ignoring emotional recovery in the morning. Some people carry unresolved stress forward. This drains energy. Unreleased stress creates fatigue. Focus weakens. Motivation drops. Allowing emotional recovery restores balance. Calm thinking returns. Energy stabilizes. Morning recovery improves endurance. It supports clarity. Performance improves. Beginning the day without appreciation for growth slows development. Many people overlook progress already made. Ignoring growth creates discouragement. Effort feels pointless. Motivation fades. Recognizing growth restores confidence. Progress becomes visible. Energy returns. Morning growth awareness strengthens commitment. It encourages persistence. Improvement continues. Another habit is waking up without intention for improvement. Some people repeat yesterday without reflection. Repetition without intention limits change. Stagnation follows. Frustration grows. Intention guides improvement. Focus sharpens. Growth becomes possible. Morning improvement intention builds momentum. It supports development. Results increase. Starting the day without self-control weakens discipline. Some people give in to impulse immediately. Impulses create distraction. Focus disappears. Energy scatters. Self-control restores order. Discipline strengthens. Clarity improves. Morning self-control supports success. It improves decision-making. Stability grows. Another habit is waking up without mental flexibility. Some people resist change instantly. Resistance creates stress. Solutions are missed. Frustration builds. Flexibility allows adaptation. Thinking expands. Calm returns. Morning flexibility strengthens resilience. It improves problem solving. Progress improves. Beginning the day without reflection on direction weakens purpose. Many people forget where they are heading. Directionless effort wastes energy. Motivation fades. Progress slows. Direction reflection restores clarity. Focus sharpens. Effort aligns. Morning direction awareness supports consistency. It strengthens purpose. Results improve. Another habit is ignoring emotional signals in the morning. Some people suppress feelings without understanding them. Suppression builds tension. Emotional outbursts follow later. Control weakens. Acknowledging signals restores balance. Awareness grows. Calm returns. Morning emotional awareness improves regulation. It strengthens relationships. Performance improves. Starting the day without courage limits growth. Some people avoid challenges immediately. Avoidance delays progress. Confidence weakens, opportunities pass. Courage enables action. Confidence builds. Growth accelerates. Morning courage strengthens resilience. It supports achievement. Progress continues. Another habit is waking up without appreciation for discipline rewards. Some people see effort as burden. This mindset creates resistance. Motivation fades quickly. Progress slows. Seeing discipline as investment changes attitude. Effort feels meaningful. Confidence grows. Morning discipline appreciation strengthens commitment. It supports consistency. Success follows. Beginning the day without awareness of distractions weakens focus. Many people allow interruptions freely. Distractions scatter attention. Productivity drops. Fatigue increases. Awareness limits interruptions. Focus deepens. Efficiency improves. Morning distraction control protects energy. It improves output. Balance returns. Another habit is waking up without emotional clarity. Some people feel unsettled without knowing why. Unclear emotions cause confusion. Reactions feel unpredictable. Control weakens. Clarity restores stability. Understanding replaces tension. Calm returns. Morning emotional clarity improves decision-making. It supports balance. Performance improves. Starting the day without belief in progress weakens effort. Some people doubt improvement immediately. Doubt reduces action. Confidence fades. Results suffer. Belief restores motivation. Action increases. Progress accelerates. Morning belief strengthens persistence. It supports growth. Success becomes possible. Many people begin their morning without recognizing how early mental habits shape the rest of the day. Thoughts formed in the first minutes often become emotional patterns that repeat for hours. When the mind wakes up filled with worry, pressure, or doubt, it carries that weight forward without question. This habit slowly trains the brain to expect difficulty instead of opportunity. As these thoughts settle in, motivation becomes harder to access. Even simple tasks feel heavier than they should. The person may still function, but effort feels forced. Over time, this repeated strain reduces confidence and weakens long-term focus. Replacing uncontrolled thinking with intentional awareness changes the internal environment. Calm observation allows the mind to settle before action begins. This creates space for clarity and better judgment. Morning mental awareness builds emotional stability. It improves decision-making and protects energy. Progress becomes smoother and more consistent throughout the day. Another habit that quietly limits growth is beginning the day without respect for consistency. Many people assume that occasional effort is enough. They start strong but stop easily when motivation fades. This creates an unstable rhythm that prevents real progress. Inconsistent effort leads to unpredictable results. Some days feel productive, while others feel wasted. Confidence becomes dependent on mood instead of discipline. This emotional dependence weakens long-term growth. Consistency removes guesswork. Small, repeated actions build momentum, regardless of emotion. Progress becomes reliable instead of accidental. Morning commitment to consistency strengthens identity. It builds trust in oneself. Long-term improvement becomes inevitable rather than uncertain. Starting the day without patience toward oneself creates unnecessary pressure. Some people demand immediate results from personal change. They become frustrated when growth feels slow. This impatience turns effort into stress. Self-imposed pressure reduces motivation. Instead of learning, the mind resists. Progress feels painful rather than purposeful. Many give up too early without realizing why. Practicing patience allows growth to unfold naturally. Mistakes become lessons instead of failures. Confidence strengthens over time. Morning self-patience improves resilience. It supports steady improvement. Long-term success becomes more realistic and sustainable. Another overlooked habit is waking up without appreciation for discipline already developed. Many people focus only on what they lack. They ignore strengths built through effort and persistence. This mindset creates dissatisfaction. Progress feels invisible. Motivation weakens even when growth is present. Recognizing discipline reinforces positive behavior. It encourages continuation. Confidence becomes grounded. Morning appreciation for discipline builds pride without arrogance. It fuels motivation. Growth accelerates naturally. Beginning the day without emotional grounding causes instability. Some people wake up mentally scattered. Their emotions shift without direction or understanding. Emotional instability affects reactions. Small stresses feel overwhelming. Decision-making suffers. Grounding restores balance. Awareness returns to the present moment. Calm replaces confusion. Morning emotional grounding strengthens control. It improves focus. Performance becomes steady. Another habit that delays progress is starting the day without courage to face discomfort. Many people avoid difficult tasks early. They postpone challenges until later. Avoidance increases anxiety. Problems grow larger over time. Confidence weakens slowly. Facing discomfort early builds strength. Fear reduces with action. Confidence grows. Morning courage transforms difficulty into opportunity. It strengthens discipline. Growth becomes consistent. Waking up without control over emotional triggers limits stability. Some people allow minor events to dictate mood. This creates unpredictable emotional shifts. Unmanaged triggers lead to frustration. Reactions feel excessive. Relationships suffer. Recognizing triggers restores control. Responses become thoughtful. Calm increases. Morning trigger awareness supports emotional intelligence. It improves communication. Balance strengthens. Another habit is beginning the day without clarity about personal responsibility. Some people expect external changes before adjusting behavior. This expectation delays progress. Control feels lost. Growth feels dependent on others. Taking responsibility restores power. Solutions become visible. Confidence returns. Morning responsibility awareness strengthens independence. It supports maturity. Progress accelerates. Starting the day without intention for learning limits development. Many people assume learning happens later. Delaying learning creates stagnation. Curiosity fades. Growth slows. Learning early stimulates thinking. Awareness expands. Insight develops. Morning learning intention builds wisdom. It improves adaptability. Progress becomes continuous. Another habit that weakens progress is waking up without gratitude for effort required. Some people resist effort itself. Resistance creates exhaustion. Motivation drops. Tasks feel heavy. Accepting effort as part of growth changes perspective. Effort feels meaningful. Energy stabilizes. Morning effort appreciation strengthens perseverance. It supports resilience. Success becomes attainable. Beginning the day without belief in personal ability limits action. Doubt appears before effort begins. Doubt reduces initiative. Opportunities are ignored. Confidence erodes. Belief restores action. Courage increases. Growth resumes. Morning belief strengthens persistence. It supports achievement. Progress becomes visible. Another habit is waking up without respect for mental energy. Some people drain it early with unnecessary stress. Mental exhaustion reduces clarity. Errors increase. Motivation drops. Protecting mental energy restores focus. Efficiency improves. Calm returns. Morning energy awareness supports productivity. It improves performance. Balance returns. Starting the day without appreciation for progress made yesterday weakens confidence. Many people dismiss small wins. Ignoring progress creates discouragement. Effort feels unrewarded. Motivation fades. Acknowledging progress builds confidence. Momentum increases. Energy returns. Morning progress recognition strengthens discipline. It supports consistency. Growth continues. Another habit is beginning the day without adaptability toward plans. Some people resist changes rigidly. Rigidity increases stress. Solutions are missed. Frustration grows. Adaptability allows adjustment. Calm improves. Results improve. Morning adaptability strengthens resilience. It improves problem solving. Progress stabilizes. Waking up without appreciation for calm reduces clarity. Some people rush immediately into tension. Tension clouds thinking, focus weakens, energy drains. Calm restores clarity. Thought becomes organized. Direction appears. Morning calm awareness improves judgment. It strengthens patience. Success improves. Many people begin their morning without any awareness of how their first thoughts shape the day's direction and overall mindset. The very first ideas that enter the mind often act as the foundation for every decision, interaction, and emotion that follows. If those thoughts are rushed, anxious, or negative, they quietly influence behavior without the person noticing. Over time, this repeated pattern conditions the brain to expect stress instead of calm, limitation instead of opportunity, and reaction instead of deliberate action. Even minor concerns early in the morning can magnify if they are allowed to linger without conscious observation, creating a subtle yet powerful barrier to mental clarity, focus, and long-term productivity. When mornings are started without attention, the emotional tone of the day becomes unpredictable. Simple tasks that could be handled efficiently may suddenly feel overwhelming. Relationships, both personal and professional, suffer from impatience or miscommunication. Individuals may feel exhausted before their workday has fully begun, and a sense of dissatisfaction or frustration begins to accumulate. The mind, untrained in purposeful thought, interprets small challenges as insurmountable obstacles, reinforcing self-doubt and hesitation, which quietly erodes motivation and confidence over time, making personal and professional growth slower and more difficult. Adopting a practice of conscious mental awareness in the early hours transforms the entire day. Spending even a few minutes reflecting on intention, visualizing positive outcomes, And gently organizing priorities allows the mind to operate from a place of clarity and calm rather than reaction and chaos. This intentional mental exercise strengthens focus, nurtures patience, and creates space for better problem solving throughout the day. It gradually reshapes habitual patterns, replacing anxiety-driven responses with thoughtful decision-making, and allows the individual to respond to challenges with poise rather than stress. Morning mental awareness also strengthens resilience and overall emotional intelligence. Individuals who cultivate this habit notice that they feel more grounded and prepared, even when faced with unexpected difficulties. Their decision-making improves, interactions become more positive, and energy levels remain steadier throughout the day. Over time, the mind becomes trained to approach mornings with intentional calm rather than hurried chaos, forming a foundation for consistent productivity, emotional stability, and growth in every area of life. By starting the day with awareness, the individual sets a tone that enhances performance, strengthens confidence, and opens the way for sustained progress. Another habit that subtly undermines personal progress is beginning the morning without clear prioritization of tasks and intentions. Many individuals wake up and immediately react to whatever feels urgent or attention-grabbing, such as notifications, emails, or small household distractions. This scattered approach prevents a structured start, causing energy to be depleted before meaningful action is taken. Over time, the habit of allowing circumstances to dictate the day diminishes focus, undermines efficiency, and weakens confidence because each task completed feels incomplete or rushed rather than intentional and productive. When priorities are unclear, decision fatigue becomes a real problem. People waste mental energy on minor choices, leaving fewer resources for tasks that truly matter. Important goals may be neglected, progress stalls, and the sense of accomplishment diminishes. The lack of a prioritized plan not only affects productivity, but also subtly impacts emotional stability, as the individual feels pulled in too many directions, creating stress and a constant sense of urgency that does not align with actual needs or objectives. Setting priorities consciously in the early morning establishes a framework for the entire day. By identifying one or two critical tasks or intentions and addressing them before less important matters, the mind gains clarity and focus. This practice builds momentum as small achievements early in the day produce a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing confidence and encouraging continued action. The brain begins to associate mornings with structured, purposeful activity, reducing the tendency to be reactive and overwhelmed. Morning prioritization also cultivates discipline and strategic thinking. Individuals who consistently define and follow a morning plan notice that their energy is better managed, decisions are more precise, and tasks are completed with higher quality. Over time, this habit becomes a foundation for sustained growth, enabling them to navigate challenges with confidence and intentionality. Clear morning priorities not only enhance productivity but also improve emotional resilience, giving individuals a steady, calm mindset that supports both personal and professional achievements. Many individuals start the morning without any deliberate attention to physical well-being, which significantly affects mental clarity and overall performance throughout the day. The body and mind are deeply interconnected, and neglecting basic care such as hydration, gentle movement, or deep breathing can create a subtle but powerful drain on energy. A stiff body, shallow breath, or low hydration levels may go unnoticed, yet they directly influence mood, focus, and emotional regulation, leaving the mind less capable of handling challenges efficiently and calmly. When the body is neglected first thing in the morning, it can create a cascading effect on emotional and mental performance. Tension accumulates, energy levels fluctuate, and irritability can rise before the day has truly started. Small frustrations become magnified. Decisions feel more burdensome, and focus diminishes, even for simple tasks. Over time, ignoring physical needs reinforces a cycle of low energy, mental fatigue, and subtle stress that undermines consistency and progress in personal and professional endeavors. Incorporating simple physical practices in the morning transforms both mental and emotional readiness. Stretching, light movement, deep breathing, or drinking water immediately after waking activates the body, improves circulation, and enhances oxygen flow to the brain. These practices help regulate mood, sharpen focus, and provide a sense of vitality that carries into decision-making and problem-solving. The mind becomes calmer, clearer, and more resilient when the body is actively cared for at the start of the day. Morning attention to physical well-being also strengthens long-term discipline and personal accountability. By respecting the body's needs, individuals cultivate a holistic sense of self-care that reinforces mental focus and emotional stability. Over weeks and months, this practice results in improved energy levels, higher productivity, and a greater ability to maintain calm and clarity in stressful situations. The morning routine of physical awareness thus serves as a foundational habit that supports sustained personal growth, consistency, and overall life satisfaction. Another habit that can quietly hold people back is starting the day without any intentional reflection or pause. Many individuals immediately dive into tasks, routines, or digital distractions without giving the mind a moment to settle. This lack of reflective practice leaves the brain in a reactive state, responding to stimuli rather than initiating deliberate action. Without a moment to process priorities, emotions, and intentions, the day unfolds in scattered, impulsive bursts rather than strategic, mindful progression. When reflection is skipped, decision-making often suffers. People may respond to minor irritations with unnecessary emotion, overlook opportunities, or fail to notice the most important tasks for their growth or well-being. Over time, this reactive approach reinforces stress, reduces efficiency, and subtly lowers confidence. The mind becomes conditioned to operate without foresight, relying on impulse instead of thought, which diminishes the ability to sustain focus and maintain calm in challenging situations. Integrating intentional reflection into the morning establishes a foundation for clarity and strategic thinking. Even a short pause to consider priorities, goals, or personal values allows the mind to organize and align with long-term objectives. This deliberate reflection enhances mental focus, reduces emotional reactivity, and ensures that early actions are purposeful rather than arbitrary. The brain begins to associate mornings with calm, structured cognition rather than chaos and impulsivity. Morning reflection also cultivates emotional intelligence and long-term growth. By observing thoughts, emotions, and intentions first thing, individuals strengthen self-awareness and resilience. They are better equipped to handle stress, make deliberate choices, and maintain consistency throughout the day. Over time, this practice reinforces a habit of mindful action, which improves personal discipline, effectiveness, and confidence in every area of life. Many individuals start their morning without any conscious awareness of how early emotional responses shape the trajectory of their entire day. Upon waking, the mind is particularly sensitive, and the first feelings that arise, whether frustration, worry, or impatience, tend to magnify and dictate mood for hours to come. Ignoring these initial emotional signals can lead to a subtle accumulation of tension that impacts decision-making, productivity, and interactions. Over time, the repeated habit of entering the day in an unobserved emotional state creates patterns of stress and inefficiency, slowly eroding the capacity for calm, focused, and intentional action throughout the day. When mornings begin with unchecked emotion, small obstacles that would normally be trivial can feel overwhelming. Relationships, both personal and professional, suffer because reactions may be sharper or more defensive than intended. The mind, conditioned to react automatically to early emotional impulses, struggles to differentiate between urgent and non-essential challenges. Motivation decreases, and even routine tasks that are normally simple may feel burdensome. Over time, the cumulative effect of starting each day without emotional management diminishes confidence, resilience, and the ability to navigate complex situations thoughtfully and calmly. Developing a habit of emotional observation first thing in the morning transforms the entire experience of the day. By simply taking a few moments to acknowledge feelings without judgment, individuals create space to regulate their emotional state before engaging with external demands. This practice enhances self-awareness, allows for intentional responses rather than impulsive reactions, and builds a sense of inner control. Even brief mindfulness or breathing exercises in the morning provide a framework for greater focus, patience, and adaptability throughout the day. Morning emotional awareness also strengthens resilience in long-term performance. Individuals who consistently pause to observe and regulate their emotions notice higher levels of calm, improved decision-making, and more positive interactions with others. Energy is preserved for meaningful work instead of being wasted on reactive tension, and confidence grows as individuals experience their own ability to manage their responses. Over weeks and months, this habit creates a foundation for sustained mental clarity, emotional stability, and consistent progress, making every morning an opportunity to reinforce self-mastery, productivity, and personal growth. Another habit that quietly prevents progress is beginning the morning without any conscious intention for productivity or meaningful action. Many individuals wake up and allow the day to unfold reactively, addressing whatever appears first, emails, notifications, minor chores, without consideration of long-term goals or priorities. This reactive pattern gradually trains the mind to prioritize urgency over importance, creating the illusion of accomplishment while meaningful progress remains stalled. Over time, this habit subtly conditions a person to respond to external pressures instead of directing their own day with purpose. When intention is absent, mental energy is wasted on low-impact tasks. Important decisions are delayed or executed without focus, and the individual often feels exhausted by midday, despite a flurry of activity in the morning. The lack of a structured approach reinforces a feeling of being out of control, which in turn reduces confidence and motivation. Over days, weeks, and months, the compounding effect of reactive mornings can significantly limit both personal and professional growth, leaving individuals stuck in a cycle of frustration and underachievement. Introducing intentionality into the morning routine transforms behavior and energy. By clearly defining one or two critical objectives for the start of the day, individuals can focus their attention and effort on high-value tasks. The brain shifts from reactive to proactive mode, recognizing priorities and allocating resources efficiently. This early momentum not only increases productivity, but also builds psychological satisfaction, as completing intentional tasks reinforces a sense of competence and achievement, strengthening confidence throughout the day. Morning intention fosters discipline, clarity, and long-term growth. Individuals who start with purposeful action notice their focus improves, distractions are minimized, and daily outcomes align more closely with their goals. Over time, this habit becomes automatic, turning the morning into a powerful launch point for consistent success. The practice encourages forward thinking, enhances decision-making, and transforms a previously scattered day into one guided by deliberate, measurable progress, making intentional mornings a critical foundation for personal and professional achievement. Many people begin the morning without any attention to the quality of their thoughts, allowing the mind to be flooded with random worries, doubts, or distractions before intentional action occurs. These unmanaged thoughts act like invisible anchors, slowing motivation and creating unnecessary stress that affects both emotional and cognitive performance. The mind's early exposure to scattered or negative thinking establishes patterns that are difficult to reverse, subtly eroding focus, energy, and confidence over time. Even minor mental clutter in the first few minutes can cascade into hours of reduced efficiency and increased frustration. When thought quality is ignored, productivity suffers. Tasks that normally require focus take longer, mistakes become more frequent, and emotional regulation diminishes as the brain reacts to internal chaos. Individuals may feel overwhelmed despite a lack of substantial workload, and mental fatigue accumulates quickly. Over time, consistently beginning mornings with unmanaged thoughts reinforces a sense of being unprepared and reactive, which erodes both confidence and the ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges as they arise. Actively managing morning thought patterns improves clarity and efficiency. Even simple practices like listing priorities, mentally rehearsing the day, or acknowledging distracting thoughts without judgment help train the brain to operate from a structured, calm state. This intentional mental focus allows decisions to be made more confidently, tasks to be approached with precision, and energy to be preserved for meaningful action rather than spent on reactive worry or low-value mental activity. The habit strengthens problem solving and adaptability as the mind becomes more capable of directing focus where it is needed most. Morning thought management also enhances long-term resilience and self-discipline. Individuals who consistently cultivate controlled, purposeful thinking. First thing, notice improved focus, reduced stress, and a stronger sense of control over their actions and environment. The practice gradually rewires cognitive patterns, reinforcing efficiency, confidence, and consistency. Over time, the habit of directing thought early becomes a foundation for sustained personal growth, emotional stability, and measurable progress, turning mornings into a strategic starting point rather than a reactive struggle. Many people start their mornings without taking any intentional time to align their energy and focus, immediately jumping into tasks, messages, or routines without establishing mental or emotional preparation. This lack of morning alignment quietly undermines productivity and resilience because the mind and body are not synchronized before facing external demands. Without a deliberate approach, thoughts and emotions from the previous day often carry over into the new day, mixing with stress, distraction, or unresolved tension. Over time, this habit reinforces patterns of reaction rather than deliberate action, causing fatigue, reduced focus, and diminished motivation before any meaningful work has even begun. The absence of a structured mental or emotional check-in early in the day creates an invisible barrier to both efficiency and personal growth, as small misalignments compound into larger challenges as the day unfolds. When energy alignment is ignored, the mind often drifts toward worry or distraction, and productivity suffers almost immediately. Tasks that would normally be handled with ease feel burdensome, while small interruptions or setbacks become magnified sources of stress. Emotional regulation becomes more difficult, and patience diminishes, even in minor interactions. Over time, the pattern of starting without alignment leads to the accumulation of subtle tension, which gradually erodes confidence, focus, and the ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges. This lack of preparation also contributes to inefficient use of mental and emotional resources, leaving individuals exhausted even after minimal exertion. Incorporating intentional alignment practices in the morning transforms both performance and mindset. Simple steps such as taking deep breaths, reflecting on priorities, or visualizing positive outcomes create a bridge between mental clarity, emotional stability, and purposeful action. These practices allow the brain to transition from a reactive state to a proactive state, ensuring that early energy is directed toward meaningful objectives rather than wasted on scattered or impulsive responses. By consciously aligning the mind and body, individuals can approach tasks with calm confidence, maintain focus throughout the day, and respond to challenges with thoughtful action rather than reactive frustration. Morning alignment not only improves immediate productivity but also fosters long-term resilience and personal discipline. Those who cultivate this habit notice increased mental clarity, greater emotional stability, and the ability to sustain energy throughout the day. Over time, consistent morning alignment builds a foundation for long-term growth, as each day begins with intentional preparation rather than reactive chaos. By mastering this practice, individuals create a powerful launch point for personal effectiveness, improved relationships, and steady progress toward both short-term goals and long-term aspirations, transforming mornings from a rushed, stressful start into a strategic advantage. Another habit that can silently hold people back is beginning the morning without reflection on goals or long-term vision, allowing the first moments of the day to drift toward reactive, low-value tasks. Many individuals immediately respond to notifications, emails, or household routines without taking the time to consider what is most important or aligned with their larger objectives. This absence of goal-oriented reflection diminishes both focus and purpose, creating the illusion of productivity while true progress toward meaningful outcomes stalls. Over time, starting the day without aligning actions to long-term priorities subtly conditions the mind to react to circumstances rather than deliberately pursue results, which erodes both efficiency and self-confidence. When mornings begin without goal awareness, individuals often waste energy on tasks that feel urgent, but are ultimately inconsequential. Small distractions become more compelling than important work, and decision-making suffers because the mind lacks a clear framework to evaluate choices. Emotional energy diminishes as the day progresses, and motivation declines, leaving a sense of dissatisfaction despite completing multiple low-impact actions. Over weeks and months, this pattern reinforces a reactive mindset where short-term pressures dictate behavior rather than intentional alignment with meaningful outcomes, limiting both growth and personal effectiveness. Introducing deliberate goal reflection in the morning transforms not only focus, but also emotional and mental readiness. Spending a few minutes identifying the most important tasks for the day, reviewing key objectives, or visualizing desired outcomes primes the brain for deliberate action. This practice channels energy toward what truly matters, reduces unnecessary distractions, and provides a sense of control over the day. The mind becomes proactive, prepared, and aligned with both immediate responsibilities and long-term ambitions, allowing actions to carry purpose rather than reacting to random events. Morning goal reflection also cultivates discipline, foresight, and self-confidence over time. Individuals who consistently start with awareness of priorities notice that they are more efficient, less reactive, and better able to handle unexpected challenges without losing focus. Repeated practice builds a habit of intentional action, which enhances consistency and long-term results. By aligning the first moments of the day with meaningful objectives, mornings become a catalyst for sustained personal growth, greater productivity, and the ability to approach each day with clarity, purpose, and strategic advantage, turning small daily choices into compound progress toward larger ambitions. Many people begin their mornings without any focus on their physical well-being, underestimating the profound impact that physical state has on mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall performance throughout the day. Neglecting hydration, movement, or simple stretches leaves the body in a passive, low-energy state that subtly drains focus and motivation. The connection between body and mind is so intertwined that even minor discomforts or lethargy in the morning can ripple outward, affecting cognitive function, emotional regulation, and productivity. Over time, this habit conditions the brain to operate at a reduced capacity from the very start of the day, creating a hidden barrier to efficiency, resilience, and long-term personal growth. When physical needs are ignored, small stresses quickly become magnified. The mind may feel foggy, energy levels fluctuate, and emotional responses become less controlled. Tasks that normally would be simple or routine feel heavier, requiring extra mental effort to complete. Even interactions with others are affected, as irritability or fatigue subtly colors communication. Over weeks and months, consistently beginning the day without attending to the body fosters chronic low energy, reducing focus, limiting productivity, and eroding the confidence that comes from feeling physically capable and mentally prepared to face challenges. Integrating basic physical care into the morning routine transforms performance, mood, and mindset. Practices such as drinking water, stretching, light movement, or deep breathing help wake the body, increase circulation, and stimulate mental alertness. These small yet deliberate actions create a foundation of energy and focus, ensuring that the mind is ready to engage with tasks intentionally and calmly. The body becomes a partner in productivity rather than a hidden barrier, supporting sustained focus, emotional stability, and efficiency throughout the day. Morning physical awareness also reinforces long-term discipline and holistic self-care. Individuals who consistently address their body's needs notice improved energy, sharper focus, and greater resilience under pressure. Over time, this habit strengthens both physical and mental endurance, providing a consistent foundation for productivity and growth. By treating the body as a priority in the first moments of the day, mornings transform into a deliberate strategic start, enhancing personal performance, emotional balance, and overall life effectiveness, turning small, consistent actions into substantial, long-term progress. Many people begin the morning without any intentional mental preparation, allowing their minds to be immediately pulled into distractions, worries, or reactive thinking. This lack of preparation can seem harmless, but it quietly shapes the emotional and cognitive trajectory for the entire day. The brain, still fresh from sleep, is highly sensitive and receptive, and the first thoughts or impulses set the tone for hours of productivity, focus, and emotional regulation. When this initial mental state is uncontrolled or unstructured, the individual may experience scattered thinking, reactive decision-making, and subtle anxiety that persists throughout the day, reducing both efficiency and confidence in personal and professional tasks. When mental preparation is neglected, even small challenges become magnified in perception. Tasks that would normally be manageable can feel overwhelming, and emotional responses to minor frustrations may be sharper than necessary. The lack of early structure leaves individuals reacting to external events rather than intentionally directing their actions, leading to wasted energy and a decreased sense of control. Over time, the cumulative effect of starting mornings unprepared leads to diminished resilience, slower progress toward goals, and subtle erosion of confidence, making it increasingly difficult to maintain consistent personal or professional growth. Incorporating intentional mental preparation transforms the day from the very start. This can involve reviewing priorities, taking a few minutes to organize thoughts, practicing focused breathing, or visualizing desired outcomes. By dedicating even a small portion of the morning to structured mental engagement, the brain transitions from a reactive state to a proactive one. This strengthens focus, sharpens decision-making, and enhances emotional regulation, allowing the individual to approach tasks calmly and efficiently rather than reactively. The mind becomes better equipped to navigate challenges without unnecessary stress or wasted energy. Morning mental preparation also builds long-term discipline, emotional resilience, and confidence. Individuals who consistently practice deliberate mental readiness notice a dramatic improvement in clarity, consistency, and ability to prioritize high-value tasks. The habit trains the brain to associate mornings with calm focus and structured action rather than impulsivity or stress, reinforcing productivity and sustained personal growth over time. By cultivating intentional mental preparation, each day begins with a sense of control, purpose, and clarity, creating a foundation for consistent progress and success in all areas of life. Another habit that can silently limit personal effectiveness is beginning the morning without any deliberate review of priorities or focus on meaningful outcomes. Many individuals wake up and immediately respond to whatever seems most urgent, whether it's notifications, household chores, or minor administrative tasks, rather than addressing the actions that truly matter for long-term growth. This reactive approach subtly conditions the mind to prioritize urgency over significance, creating an illusion of productivity while actual progress toward important objectives remains stagnant. Over time, this pattern erodes both efficiency and confidence, as energy is spent on tasks that do not contribute to meaningful results. When priorities are ignored, mental energy is quickly depleted. Individuals may spend hours completing low-value actions while the most important goals remain unattended. Decision-making suffers, as there is no framework guiding what deserves focus or effort. Emotional energy also diminishes, leaving people feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or unaccomplished despite having been active throughout the morning. Over weeks and months, this habit strengthens reactive tendencies, reinforcing patterns of distraction and preventing individuals from achieving consistent and measurable growth. Introducing deliberate priority setting at the start of the day transforms both mindset and output. Spending even a few minutes identifying the most critical tasks for the day, organizing them in order of importance, or mentally rehearsing how to tackle them, ensures that energy is directed efficiently. This intentionality creates momentum, reinforces confidence, and encourages the completion of meaningful work before minor distractions can interfere. The brain shifts from a reactive state to a proactive one, allowing actions to be guided by purpose rather than chance. Morning priority alignment also builds long-term discipline and resilience. Individuals who consistently begin their days by focusing on high-value outcomes notice improved efficiency, reduced stress, and a heightened sense of control. Over time, the habit reinforces intentionality, making the first hours of the day a strategic advantage rather than a period of reactive chaos. By structuring mornings around meaningful priorities, people cultivate a foundation of consistent progress, clarity, and purpose that extends into every facet of their personal and professional lives. Many individuals start their morning without any focus on emotional regulation, allowing lingering stress, anxiety, or unresolved tension from previous days to influence mood and decision making. This neglect seems minor, but it can quietly undermine productivity, focus, and interpersonal interactions throughout the day. The mind is particularly receptive in the first moments after waking, and unmanaged emotions at this time set patterns that are difficult to break. Even small negative emotions can accumulate, subtly affecting reactions, energy levels, and mental clarity, creating a hidden barrier to personal effectiveness and emotional resilience. When emotional regulation is ignored, minor frustrations escalate and patience diminishes. Individuals may react sharply to small irritations, struggle with concentration, or feel exhausted before significant work has been done. The absence of early emotional control fosters a reactive mindset, leaving individuals less capable of responding thoughtfully to challenges and less able to maintain focus on important tasks. Over time, this pattern reinforces stress and decreases both confidence and efficiency, subtly limiting progress in both personal and professional domains. Incorporating practices to regulate emotion first thing in the morning transforms mental and emotional readiness. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or intentional reflection allow individuals to acknowledge and process feelings without judgment, clearing the way for focused, deliberate action. By addressing emotions proactively rather than reactively, individuals conserve mental energy, maintain patience, and strengthen resilience, allowing them to navigate challenges more effectively throughout the day. Morning emotional regulation also strengthens long-term self-discipline and confidence. Individuals who consistently manage their early emotions notice higher levels of calm, better decision-making, and improved interactions with others. Over time, the habit builds a foundation for sustained personal growth, consistent productivity, and emotional stability. By starting each day with intentional emotional awareness, mornings become a period of preparation and advantage rather than a passive continuation of previous stress or tension. Another habit that undermines progress is beginning the morning without attention to the influence of external distractions on focus and productivity. Many people immediately check phones, social media, or messages before establishing a clear plan or priority for the day. This habit subtly trains the mind to respond to external stimuli rather than acting intentionally, causing scattered energy, reduced attention span, and a feeling of constantly being pulled in multiple directions. Over time, reactive engagement with distractions in the morning erodes mental clarity, diminishes confidence, and hinders consistent progress toward meaningful goals. When external distractions dominate early energy, focus and efficiency drop almost immediately. Tasks take longer to complete, mistakes become more frequent, and stress increases as attention is repeatedly diverted. Emotional energy also suffers, as the brain is conditioned to respond impulsively to interruptions rather than prioritizing what truly matters. Over weeks and months, this pattern leads to decreased productivity, mounting frustration, and subtle erosion of self-discipline, preventing the individual from maintaining momentum or achieving long-term objectives. Taking deliberate control over exposure to distractions transforms the morning and sets a foundation for consistent performance. By delaying the engagement with notifications, messages, or minor external demands until essential tasks are completed, individuals preserve mental energy and direct attention toward high-priority actions. This intentional control reduces mental fatigue, strengthens focus, and enhances decision-making, allowing tasks to be completed with precision and calm rather than hurriedly or reactively. Morning focus management also cultivates long-term discipline and resilience. Individuals who consistently structure their mornings to minimize external interference notice increased clarity, improved efficiency, and sustained motivation throughout the day. The habit creates a rhythm where energy is consistently directed toward meaningful work, reinforcing confidence and intentionality. Over time, mornings become a powerful platform for both immediate productivity and the steady achievement of long-term personal and professional goals. Many people begin their mornings without any focus on nurturing mental clarity, allowing their minds to be immediately inundated with random thoughts, worries, and distractions that accumulate from previous days. This lack of morning mental clarity can seem insignificant at first, yet it subtly dictates the tone for the rest of the day. When the mind is left in a scattered state, attention is divided, decision-making becomes slower, and emotional responses are more reactive than thoughtful. Over time, this habit trains the brain to operate in a constant state of partial chaos, diminishing both productivity and the ability to respond effectively to challenges, while also quietly eroding confidence and the capacity for consistent growth. When mornings are started without cultivating clarity, even small tasks feel overwhelming, and focus is lost quickly. Simple responsibilities may require more mental effort than necessary, while attention drifts to less relevant concerns. Emotional regulation suffers because the mind is unsettled from the moment it wakes, leading to impatience, stress, and subtle frustration that accumulates throughout the day. Over weeks and months, this pattern reinforces inefficiency and a reactive mindset, creating a subtle but powerful barrier to both personal and professional success. The brain, conditioned to operate without clarity, struggles to prioritize effectively, further reducing the sense of control and direction in daily life. Integrating intentional practices to cultivate mental clarity in the morning transforms energy, focus, and resilience. Techniques such as journaling thoughts, listing priorities, engaging in brief meditation, or mentally visualizing desired outcomes provide structure to the first moments of the day. These exercises create a foundation of calm, organized thinking, enabling individuals to approach challenges deliberately rather than reactively. With a clear mind, attention is concentrated on meaningful work, decision-making becomes precise, and energy is preserved for tasks that matter rather than being drained by scattered or intrusive thoughts. Morning mental clarity also fosters long-term self-discipline, focus, and sustained growth. Individuals who consistently train the mind to begin the day in a state of organized awareness notice significant improvements in productivity, emotional stability, and confidence. Over time, this habit rewires mental patterns, creating a reliable framework for proactive action, consistent decision-making, and effective problem-solving. By starting each day with intentional clarity, mornings become a period of preparation and advantage, transforming scattered energy into focused, strategic momentum that drives both short-term accomplishments and long-term progress. Another habit that quietly undermines productivity is beginning the day without intentionally structuring personal time to reflect on goals and long-term vision. Many individuals wake up and immediately respond to whatever seems urgent, like messages, emails, or household chores, without pausing to consider what is most important or meaningful for growth. This reactive pattern prevents alignment with larger objectives and slowly trains the brain to operate from immediate stimuli rather than intentional choice. Over time, this habit subtly reduces the ability to focus on what truly matters, diminishes personal accountability, and erodes the motivation necessary to achieve meaningful progress. When mornings are reactive rather than intentional, energy is consumed on low-value activities, leaving less cognitive and emotional resources for tasks that truly matter. Decisions are more likely to be influenced by distraction or convenience rather than strategic planning. Emotional energy also becomes strained as the brain shifts rapidly between small, often unnecessary tasks, creating a sense of frustration or being overwhelmed. Over weeks and months, this repeated pattern reinforces reactive tendencies, decreasing both efficiency and confidence in one's ability to pursue long-term goals consistently and with focus. Incorporating intentional reflection in the morning allows individuals to identify the most meaningful actions and prioritize tasks according to long-term objectives. Even a brief period of consideration, such as reviewing key goals, visualizing successful outcomes, or identifying critical steps for the day, transforms the mind from reactive to proactive. This deliberate practice strengthens focus, increases motivation, and directs energy toward actions that yield the greatest long-term benefit. The habit also enhances clarity, ensuring that decision-making throughout the day aligns with meaningful priorities rather than being pulled by distractions or urgency. Morning goal reflection also fosters resilience, discipline, and confidence over time. Individuals who consistently review priorities, first thing, notice higher efficiency, reduce stress, and a greater sense of control over their actions. Repeated practice reinforces a proactive mindset, turning mornings into a period of strategic advantage instead of reactive chaos. Over time, this habit builds a foundation for consistent progress, enabling the achievement of meaningful goals while cultivating emotional stability, focus, and long-term personal and professional growth. Many individuals begin their morning without taking any deliberate steps to prepare their mind and body for the day ahead, neglecting the essential connection between physical state, mental focus, and emotional stability. This lack of preparation can seem harmless, yet it subtly shapes the effectiveness of every action that follows. When the body is sluggish or the mind is scattered, even minor tasks require disproportionately more effort, and the ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges diminishes. Over time, this pattern reinforces inefficiency and reactive behavior, creating an invisible barrier that prevents consistent progress, drains motivation, and reduces overall confidence in both personal and professional endeavors. When mornings are unprepared, fatigue or physical discomfort often exacerbates mental and emotional challenges. Concentration is harder to maintain, minor frustrations feel larger than they are, and patience diminishes, leaving individuals less capable of handling both expected and unexpected challenges. Tasks that normally could be completed efficiently may require extra time and effort, creating a cumulative sense of overwhelm. Over weeks and months, consistently starting the day without preparation reinforces patterns of low energy, poor focus, and reactive responses, limiting both productivity and personal growth. Integrating deliberate morning preparation transforms mental, emotional, and physical performance. This can include simple practices like hydration, stretching, mindful breathing, or a brief reflection on priorities. These practices align the mind and body, preparing the individual for focused and intentional action. Early attention to preparation strengthens energy, sharpens focus, and improves the ability to regulate emotion in the face of challenges. The brain and body begin to work together in harmony rather than in conflict, creating a stable foundation for productive and strategic activity throughout the day. Morning preparation also builds long-term resilience, discipline, and confidence. Individuals who consistently integrate structured preparation notice improvements in mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical energy. Over time, these habits compound, reinforcing the ability to approach each day proactively rather than reactively. By cultivating the practice of intentional preparation, mornings become a strategic advantage, providing the momentum, clarity, and energy necessary for consistent achievement, personal growth, and overall life effectiveness, turning every day into an opportunity for purposeful action and sustained progress. Another habit that can subtly limit achievement is starting the day without deliberately structuring time for reflection, self-assessment, or reviewing lessons learned from the past. Many individuals jump straight into routines or immediate demands without pausing to consider successes, challenges, or areas for improvement. This lack of reflection leaves the mind reactive and ungrounded, gradually reducing the ability to make strategic decisions and undermining the development of self-awareness. Over time, consistently neglecting morning reflection diminishes personal insight, slows learning, and prevents the accumulation of knowledge and wisdom that could otherwise enhance daily productivity and long-term growth. When reflection is skipped, individuals often repeat past mistakes or fail to recognize opportunities for improvement. Decisions may be made impulsively, without considering previous outcomes, and responses to challenges become more reactive than deliberate. Emotional energy can be drained as the mind struggles to adapt to recurring patterns, and focus may waver throughout the day. Over weeks and months, the absence of intentional reflection creates a subtle cycle of stagnation, where growth feels slow or invisible, and the individual may feel frustrated despite repeated effort. Incorporating a short period of reflection in the morning transforms awareness, decision-making, and productivity. This can include reviewing yesterday's achievements and challenges, identifying lessons learned, or visualizing how to apply insights to current objectives. Reflection creates mental clarity, strengthens focus, and allows energy to be directed efficiently toward meaningful actions. The brain shifts from reactive thinking to strategic problem solving, reinforcing both confidence and intentionality in daily behavior. Reflection acts as a bridge between past experiences and future goals, aligning action with insight and purpose. Morning reflection also reinforces long-term personal growth, discipline, and resilience. Individuals who consistently take time to assess and learn from previous experiences develop heightened self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Over time, these habits cultivate consistency, improve focus, and enhance decision-making, creating a structured, deliberate approach to daily life. By starting each morning with intentional reflection, the day is framed as an opportunity for purposeful action, informed decisions, and meaningful progress, enabling both immediate and long-term achievement. Many individuals start their mornings without paying attention to the way they mentally frame their day, immediately allowing external pressures or random thoughts to dictate mood and energy. This unconscious habit can quietly sabotage productivity and emotional stability because the brain's early state strongly influences how attention, motivation, and decision-making are managed throughout the day. When mornings begin in reaction to distractions or unstructured thinking, the mind can become scattered, reactive, and anxious, even if no overtly stressful events have occurred. Over time, this pattern reinforces a subtle cycle of reduced focus, decreased efficiency, and lower confidence as the individual gradually becomes conditioned to start each day without deliberate intention or control over mental energy. When mental framing is ignored, small challenges or disruptions often feel disproportionately difficult to handle. Tasks that normally require minimal effort may suddenly feel exhausting, and emotional responses can be heightened, causing friction in interactions and unnecessary stress. Energy is wasted on reacting to minor issues rather than being directed toward meaningful or high-value actions. Over weeks and months, this lack of mental structure at the start of the day builds cumulative fatigue, diminishes resilience, and reduces the capacity for thoughtful decision-making, making it increasingly difficult to maintain a productive and balanced daily routine. Developing the habit of consciously framing the mind each morning transforms energy, focus, and performance. Techniques such as setting a positive intention, visualizing a successful day, or mentally prioritizing tasks allow the brain to operate from a deliberate rather than reactive state. This early mental alignment fosters clarity, enhances focus, and strengthens emotional regulation, enabling individuals to respond thoughtfully to challenges rather than becoming overwhelmed by them. With structured mental preparation, energy is preserved, decisions are more deliberate, and the mind is ready to navigate both predictable and unexpected situations effectively. Morning mental framing also cultivates long-term resilience, discipline, and self-confidence. Individuals who consistently start the day by consciously shaping their mindset notice higher productivity, greater emotional stability, and improved decision-making. Over time, this habit rewires mental patterns, reinforcing the association between mornings and deliberate action, calm focus, and strategic planning. By beginning each day with intentional mental alignment, individuals set themselves up for both immediate accomplishments and long-term growth, transforming mornings into a powerful foundation for consistent personal and professional progress. Another habit that can silently hinder progress is starting the morning without any attention to the sequencing of tasks or the organization of time. Many individuals wake up and immediately jump into whatever feels urgent, whether it is emails, social media, or minor chores, without planning the day in a deliberate order. This reactive approach not only reduces efficiency, but also subtly trains the brain to prioritize low-value tasks over meaningful, high-impact actions. Over time, this lack of structured sequencing undermines focus, energy management, and the ability to complete tasks effectively, creating hidden obstacles to sustained growth and achievement. When tasks are not sequenced intentionally, mental energy is quickly depleted. Important objectives may be delayed or neglected, while trivial activities consume attention and time. Emotional fatigue builds as the day progresses, and the sense of accomplishment diminishes despite continuous activity. Over weeks and months, this habit reinforces a scattered approach to work and life, reducing confidence and limiting the ability to execute goals consistently. The brain becomes conditioned to react rather than plan, which hinders both productivity and personal development. Incorporating deliberate sequencing of tasks in the morning transforms efficiency and focus. Taking even a few minutes to prioritize high-impact activities and schedule them in a logical order allows energy to be directed where it matters most. The mind operates in a structured, intentional manner, reducing wasted effort and improving the quality of outcomes. By approaching the day with clear sequencing, individuals can navigate complex tasks with calm precision, maintain focus under pressure, and manage energy effectively for sustained performance. Morning task sequencing also builds long-term discipline and consistency. Individuals who consistently plan and structure their day notice increased productivity, better time management, and stronger emotional resilience. Over time, this habit reinforces a proactive mindset, enabling steady progress toward both immediate objectives and long-term goals. By starting each day with intentional organization and prioritization, mornings become a strategic foundation for personal effectiveness, consistent achievement, and long-lasting growth in all areas of life. Many individuals begin their mornings without any attention to the state of their physical environment, allowing clutter, disorganization, or distractions to shape mood, focus, and productivity. This seemingly minor oversight can subtly undermine performance and emotional stability, because the mind is sensitive to environmental cues, especially during the early hours. A disorganized or chaotic environment can increase cognitive load, amplify stress, and reduce mental clarity, making it harder to focus on meaningful tasks. Over time, consistently starting the day in a cluttered or unmanaged space reinforces distraction, reduces efficiency, and decreases the ability to maintain calm and focus under pressure. When the physical environment is neglected, attention is diverted from high-value activities to minor irritations or disruptions. Tasks that normally would be straightforward may require extra mental effort, and emotional patience can diminish quickly. The brain becomes conditioned to tolerate chaos, which can lead to a reactive mindset and subtle stress accumulation. Over weeks and months, this lack of environmental attention erodes both productivity and confidence, making it more difficult to maintain consistent, focused progress in professional and personal endeavors. Deliberately organizing and optimizing the environment each morning transforms focus, energy, and mental clarity. Simple actions, such as clearing a workspace, arranging materials, or creating a visually calm space, signal to the brain that the day is structured and intentional. This reduces cognitive load, enhances concentration, and fosters a sense of readiness and calm. By taking control of the environment, individuals preserve mental and emotional energy for tasks that truly matter, improving efficiency, decision-making, and the quality of outcomes. Morning attention to environment also strengthens long-term habits, discipline, and resilience. Individuals who consistently start their days in a well-managed space notice improved focus, reduced stress, and higher productivity throughout the day. Over time, this habit reinforces deliberate action and proactive behavior, creating a foundation for consistent personal and professional growth. By treating the physical environment as an integral part of the morning routine, mornings become a launch point for clarity, effectiveness, and sustained achievement, turning small, consistent adjustments into long-term success. Many people start their mornings without any awareness of how their early decisions influence energy and focus for the rest of the day. Jumping immediately into routines without thought can cause scattered energy and a subtle sense of chaos that persists throughout the day. The brain is particularly receptive in the first hour after waking, and if left unchecked, random or reactive choices, such as checking messages, doing minor chores, or jumping into work, can dominate the mind, leaving less mental space for strategic thinking or meaningful action. Over time, this habitual lack of intentional decision-making subtly diminishes efficiency, confidence, and the ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges, eroding personal effectiveness and growth. When mornings are consumed by unstructured decision-making, even simple tasks become taxing as attention is divided and mental energy is quickly depleted. Priorities are frequently delayed, and small frustrations are amplified because the mind is already scattered from the start. Emotional regulation suffers, and motivation can drop before meaningful work is completed. Over weeks and months, this lack of early intentionality reinforces reactive habits, leading to reduced focus, diminished productivity, and subtle frustration, which compounds and limits the achievement of both short-term and long-term goals. Implementing deliberate morning decision-making transforms focus, energy, and outcomes. Even small practices, such as planning the day in order of importance, reviewing critical objectives, or mentally rehearsing key tasks, allow the brain to operate from a proactive state. Energy is preserved for high-priority actions, emotional stability is maintained, and the mind is prepared to respond deliberately rather than reactively. Structured early decisions create a sense of control and confidence that persists throughout the day, enhancing both efficiency and effectiveness. Morning intentionality in decision-making also strengthens long-term habits, discipline, and productivity. Individuals who consistently plan their mornings experience increased clarity, resilience, and sustained focus. Over time, this habit becomes automatic, turning mornings into a foundation for strategic action, personal growth, and achievement. By beginning each day with conscious, deliberate choices, the mind is trained to operate proactively, transforming scattered energy into structured momentum that drives both immediate results and long-term success. Another habit that can quietly hold back personal growth is beginning the morning without attention to energy restoration, neglecting sleep quality, hydration, or nutrition. Even minor deficits in these areas impact focus, mood, and performance throughout the day. When energy levels are low from the moment of waking, the brain struggles to maintain clarity, emotional stability, and sustained attention. Over time, consistently starting mornings with depleted energy subtly reduces resilience, diminishes motivation, and increases vulnerability to stress, creating hidden obstacles that prevent consistent growth and productivity. When mornings begin without sufficient energy preparation, individuals often struggle with focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Tasks feel heavier than usual, patience diminishes, and mental errors become more frequent. Even small distractions or minor challenges can cause disproportionate frustration, as the brain and body are not fully prepared to handle them. Over weeks and months, this pattern reinforces low energy habits and reactive behavior, reducing confidence and overall effectiveness, while making it harder to maintain a productive routine consistently. Incorporating energy-focused practices into the morning transforms both productivity and well-being. Simple steps such as drinking water, consuming a balanced breakfast, performing light stretches, or taking a few minutes to move the body provide the brain and body with essential fuel to operate efficiently. These practices improve alertness, enhance emotional stability, and increase the capacity for focused and deliberate action. By attending to energy early, individuals are able to sustain momentum, make better decisions, and approach challenges calmly rather than reactively. Morning energy management also cultivates long-term resilience, discipline, and effectiveness. Individuals who consistently prioritize energy restoration notice higher productivity, improved focus, and reduced stress over time. The habit strengthens both physical and cognitive performance, ensuring that each day begins with sufficient mental and emotional resources. By starting the day with deliberate attention to energy, mornings become a strategic advantage, creating consistent momentum and reinforcing long-term growth, personal achievement, and sustained progress. Many people begin their mornings without any deliberate practice of prioritization, allowing unimportant tasks or distractions to dominate attention. This reactive habit subtly undermines both productivity and personal development, as the brain becomes conditioned to respond to external stimuli rather than deliberate intention. When priority is ignored, effort is spread thin across low-value activities, while meaningful tasks are postponed or neglected. Over time, the cumulative effect reduces efficiency, increases stress, and diminishes the sense of accomplishment, making it difficult to sustain consistent progress toward personal or professional goals. When priority management is absent, small interruptions or trivial tasks quickly consume attention and energy. Mental fatigue grows, and focus on high-value objectives is lost. Emotional regulation suffers as frustration or overwhelm builds from constant reactive engagement. Over weeks and months, this pattern reinforces scattered thinking, reactive behavior, and subtle anxiety, creating invisible barriers to achieving meaningful results. Confidence erodes as repeated attempts at progress are interrupted by minor distractions, leaving the individual feeling unproductive despite constant activity. Deliberate prioritization each morning transforms focus, energy, and productivity. Simple actions such as identifying the most important tasks, arranging them in logical order, or mentally rehearsing key objectives allow attention to be directed toward meaningful outcomes. The brain shifts from reacting to stimuli to operating intentionally, preserving energy for tasks that truly matter. Emotional stability is enhanced and efficiency is maximized, enabling tasks to be completed thoughtfully and effectively rather than rushed or neglected. Morning prioritization also fosters long-term discipline, consistency, and personal growth. Individuals who consistently structure their mornings around high-value objectives notice increased productivity, better decision-making, and sustained momentum throughout the day. Over time, the habit strengthens proactive thinking and resilience, transforming mornings into a strategic foundation for personal effectiveness. By beginning each day with deliberate prioritization, individuals create consistent progress, enhanced clarity, and a measurable path toward achieving both immediate and long-term goals. Your mornings are more than just the start of another day. They are the foundation for your focus, energy, and long-term success. Every small choice you make in the first few hours can either empower you or quietly hold you back. Habits like rushing through the morning, reacting to distractions, ignoring priorities, or neglecting mental and physical preparation may seem harmless, but they accumulate over time, creating invisible barriers that slow your progress and drain your energy. By becoming aware of these subtle habits, you can take control of your mornings and intentionally shape the rest of your day. The most successful and fulfilled individuals understand that mornings set the tone for productivity, resilience, and achievement. When you begin each day with deliberate mental preparation, structured priorities, emotional regulation, and physical care, you align your energy, focus, and intentions for maximum impact. These morning habits are not just routines. They are powerful tools for building confidence, clarity, and discipline. They allow you to approach challenges with calm, think strategically, and preserve your mental and emotional energy for what truly matters. Small, consistent adjustments in how you start your day compound into significant long-term growth, transforming ordinary mornings into a launchpad for extraordinary results. Remember, change does not happen overnight, and the impact of morning habits unfolds over weeks, months, and years. By consciously creating structure, focus, and intention in the first hours of your day, you empower yourself to respond to challenges rather than react, pursue meaningful goals instead of distractions, and maintain balance even under pressure. Each morning is a new opportunity to reset, strengthen your mindset, and align your actions with your highest priorities. When these habits become consistent, you will notice increased productivity, emotional stability, and a sense of purpose that carries you through every day. The key takeaway is simple but profound. The way you start your morning determines the trajectory of your entire day, and repeated mornings of intentional focus build the life you desire. Take control of your habits, reflect on what matters most, and commit to small but deliberate actions each day. By doing so, you unlock not just immediate productivity, but long-term momentum, resilience, and success. Let your mornings be your greatest ally, and watch as your energy, focus, and results transform, turning every day into a powerful step toward your highest potential.